I did rock up to a family gathering with 2 slabs of cruisers once.
And I've got to say, that was one of the worst funerals that I've ever been a part of.
You need bad decisions to make a party a good party, to make it a memorable party.
Mate, they were calling me small hands. And you know how I get about being called small hands, dude?
Fellas, you gotta wear linen. Like,
What are you talking about? All right, now all we have to do is recreate that enthusiasm for starting again that we just missed out on because I didn't have my audio set up properly. Woo! We're back. Yeah, let's go, dude.
Is that Daniel Prosser on the other end of the line?
It is, dude. It is. It's been a minute. It's been months. It's probably been a year almost. I'm not even sure. We go through this at the start of every pod, though. So
Every pod.
Rebrand incoming, to be sure, and that. When that rebrand happens, holy smokes, the consistency is just going to rock your world, I reckon.
It's going to rock it. Well, I really think we're a second half team. We're a second half of the year team. That's when we come on our own. We realise that our lives are a bit boring. And we're like, all right, we need to spice it up. What can I do?
Assignments are due as well. It's that like work to a deadline type thing. You sort of think, how many pods have we done this year? Like 2? Okay, maybe we should try and just cram them all into the back end of the year.
How many episodes can we pump out in 3.5 months?
Let's see what we can do, dude. Let's see what we can do.
Oh yeah, I think we do well. I know this is classified as a weekly update, so I'm just going to do a weekly update because my life is just too amazing. It's too exciting. So I think it's best if we just funnel into this week, I reckon. And well, the first thing I sort of realized, I had this realization this week that I haven't been to a bodlo in like 3 to 4 months.
And I just refuse to believe that.
Like, obviously I'm not sober. Don't worry about that, ladies. You still got a chance. It's just, I've been in this window of like, all right, I've got to save mad coin. I'm like a cram studier, cram podcast maker. I'm a cram savings for travel.
Cram budgeter.
Yeah. So the last what would it be? The last 2 months I've just been like, boof. Crazy cram, and obviously I still go out, but I'm going out straight to the venue. I haven't done prees or anything. If it's like a birthday, if it's something, I'm just pulling
literally
up.
Going in dry, dude.
Yeah, which is pretty ballsy, but yeah, it's a bit more expensive actually doing it like that. So maybe I should go to the bolo.
What's it like? Talk to me about that, dude. We almost got a road guide on going out with no liquid confidence.
Well, it's not like I'm pulling up to the club, like. Yeah, maybe I'm pulling up to a happy hour, or if it's a function, like I'm pulling up to the function, and like I'm probably snagging beers on the way. Like most things come from footy because I'm not drinking Fridays because I've got footy on Saturday. So then Friday and then Saturday, you sort of get free beers after the game. If you play well, you get free beers all night, which is nice.
Park it, I reckon. I reckon there's a whole road guide to budget friendly. Like we've done budget, but I mean, what about budgeting all of your what's the word, like your luxury purchases or whatever it is, the finance, the stuff that you could save money on by cutting out completely, rather than that saying like, oh, actually let's keep doing those things, but let's find the most cost effective way to do them. I reckon the budget friendly way to going out is definitely on the cards, because you're spitting game here, dude. You're spitting game.
True. I don't want to waste it. Well, I guess one thing that sort of got me thinking about drinking is that I've got a lot of pressure on me at the moment. Because I'm out playing country footy for a small town called Beaufort. Shout out the Beaufort F Football Netball Club. And like obviously the team come in as a big signing. They want you to make finals and all the rest of it. And like there's 2 games left, and I'm starting to think we might not make finals.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that's a lot of pressure.
You're their marquee player, really. When they look back in their season, they'd be like, oh, where did we go wrong? Signing Goss.
Effectively, like if they're gonna point fingers, it's probably coming towards me. And it's not great that we haven't won a game all year. It's not ideal.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty tough. Like we've had 2 draws. Unheard of to have 2 draws in a season. I don't think I've had one in my whole career.
Hang on,
before
but you're on the cusp of finals?
Oh, no, I think it might be over.
No, I think it might be.
Well, yeah, it's a big cusp. Teams can get done for salary cap breaching and like point cap breaching. So we just need to overlap 8 9 teams to get into the 8. So
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're counting on like the most absurd political series of events possible to get the team into finals. Yeah, mate. I reckon the towns put their faith in the right man by the sound of it.
I've definitely got the positive vibe to get us through, I reckon. Just the boys just got to get around me and we'll get there.
Well, I'm glad to at least hear that you haven't been spending money at the bottle. That's good. I'm not sure about your reputation in the country town of Beaufort or wherever it is. Speaking of country
That's where
towns,
Vegemite was invented. Thank you very much,
Really?
mate. Just a side note. Yeah.
wow, that's pretty. Are you the Beaufort Vegemites? Because that's a missed opportunity if not.
Ooh, that would have been good. And I also
That would be
dated the granddaughter of the inventor of Vegemite.
Oh, she's a
was my
listener as
first-
well. Huge Roger, massive fan of the show.
Huge Roger. Yeah, I think we might get Vegemite to sponsor the podcast.
Controversially, I don't want to shoot down any sponsors, but I hate Vegemite. It is my least favorite substance on this earth. Sorry to whatever her name is, Elizabeth Vegemite or whoever that you hooked up with that time, but
Mate, you went
no.
to school with that.
Wait, what?
Yeah. We can talk about this. I don't know. Do we name drop? I don't know.
No, I don't think no, it's too real. No, it's too real. Anyway, shout out to that potential friend of mine that I just sledged. Anyway,
Shout out Sophie Callister.
Oh, really?
Yeah, first ever girlfriend. There you go.
There we go. Wow, that's a massive claim to fame, dude. Now,
Yeah.
my claim to fame is being a world traveller, as you know, Dos, firsthand. Always travelling the globe, and definitely haven't been locked in Australia for the past 4 or 5 years, which is pretty crazy to conceive. I just had 4 weeks of holidays, and guess how far and wide I managed to travel in those 4 whole weeks off work.
Oh, maybe you went to Emerald, which is 4-6 hours away to go to the Macca's, which is your nearest McDonald's.
Look, I did. Thankfully, I did, and that's true. It is 4 or 5 hours to the nearest Macca's. I did manage to get up to Cairns, which I've got to say, most beautiful part. The Atherton Tablelands has to be the most beautiful part of Australia. I'm calling it here. For our international rogers, there's nothing much really there in the sense of attractions. The place is the attraction. The right mindset is the attraction. You've got to go there and you've just got to look for a really cozy, comfy, beautiful, scenic kind of time, and you can really embrace it and you'll absolutely love it. Huge fan. It's where I want to move. But aside from the few days I spent up north, my biggest travel would have been out the front door to the main street of Longreach. I basically have done nothing in a sense. I've gone nowhere. I've been busy doing stuff, but I'm not gonna bore literally everyone with talking about it. But
no, that's why they come on to listen. They do love your weekly updates.
The cool thing that I've got coming up actually is in September I'm going to be running from Barkey to Longreach, which is about 120 k's. So that's going to be cool. I'm doing it for cystic fibrosis before you make any jokes at my expense. I'm Teflon because I'm doing it for a good cause.
I'd never.
But yeah, that's pretty much that's in all these months. I'd say that's the most exciting thing the past 4 weeks, and nothing much really happened.
Sheesh. Well, geez, the Rogers are glad they've got me. I'll just say that. I had to cut down what I was going to say because I was just so excited and had so much to talk about.
Hey, look, cash another one in now that you know that I've wrapped it up. Share with us regale us with another tale from the big city, the big smoke.
Oof. Well, I got treated like a piece of meat the other day. Yeah, when I went to the osteo and I got a lot of hip pain at the moment, like an old man, and I was in there.
Like an old man, mate. You're almost 30. You are an old man.
You're older than me, bro. I've still got years until 30.
I hear it every day. I've got to punch down on someone.
I've got plural years until 30, so I'll take it.
Damn. I just stay losing here. Anyway, keep going.
Anyway, yeah, he was just going through my body and he's like, oh wow, you've got a really good muscle mass for the size of you, and you don't have any knee pain or shoulder pain.
Jeez.
Wow. And then he goes and gets the head osteo to come in as well to have a look, and he's like, wow, you've got perfect dimensions. And I was
Listen
like,
to you, dude. Surely this. And then everyone stood up and clapped, and you got the keys to the city from the mayor. Like, come on, man.
It was pretty good. I'll tell you what.
Wow. So
No,
what's the verdict? You're obese still, or?
Well, like technically, I'm still obese.
Wow. Is that how marveling? Mate, you can. There's like actual, muscle under all this bloody fat.
No, one of the youngins came in. They were like, "Oh, we should do the BMI test on him," and I was like, "Don't you fucking dare!
Yeah, I'm leaving.
Let me have this moment."
It's only positive objectification here, please.
Yeah. Well, so I'm pretty well set, with how things are going. But I'm interested to see if you've got something that you need a guide to. And have you got anything for us, Bros? Anything that's come across in your life that you think our rogers need to hear?
Look, it's one literally very, very close to my heart, and one that I am almost about to be a confirmed master in, basically. And it's the rogue guide to dating a coworker.
Oh, juicy.
Highly controversial, I think. You would agree? Is this sort of a difficult one, a tricky one? People would sort of say steer clear of?
Well, they'd be wrong if they said stick clear of it, because this is exciting. This is drama in life, This is something you can talk about when you're old.
Oh no, this is not the advice. It is risky. You can mess up in a lot of ways. Not just potentially get your heart broken, which is always awful, but also really mess up your career, potentially your finances, your life. Next thing you know, you're on the streets, all because you wanted to date a coworker. It's a massive gamble, and I think most people in their right mind tend to try and avoid it. I definitely was in that boat, but now I am the patron saint of dating coworkers. My fiance and I met at work. So I've got to say I'm a bit of an expert in this and how to navigate this dangerous situation, calmly, professionally, and get the bag.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think I feel like we've got different motives, but we're aiming for the same outcome. Like the way that I see dating a coworker, it's just life is a TV show. It's a TV series. That's all it is, and you're the main character in your own TV show, and we're just hitting that point where it's time for you to date your coworker,
dude. It's that episode.
It's that episode.
We've gone past the beach vacation episode where everyone strips down to their togs, and now it's time for the controversial drama episode.
Exactly. Yeah, it's time. And I think we've got the tips and the guides to get you through this and not sort of get you cancelled.
Dos, have you ever dated a coworker though?
Define dated.
We're gonna have to do. I think we need to get some definitions at some point later. Break down because I've been considering hooking up in a completely different way to other people. All kinds of those words, which maybe it's because I'm pure, but yeah, we need to break down some of these things. But anyway, let's jump into it. Step one, and this is so important. Sure, it's how you feel about someone, right? You're like, oh yeah, I love them, or I'm attracted to them, or I think there could be something here. That's easy to understand. You know yourself pretty well, hopefully, but you don't know what's going through their mind. So step number one, you have to be 110% even sure that they're into you as well, because otherwise you're going down into a rabbit hole of risk and danger that you just don't want to get yourself into, especially if you're one of our handful of male Roga listeners at the moment. You're in particular risk of this. If you're, especially like me, in my situation, I was senior at the job, and I was senior literally. I was as we've established, I am almost 30, so definitely venturing into the old and irrelevant sort of age group. I had a plenty to lose. I had a job in a bustling small town in Queensland, and imagine that coming to an end. So I had to be 110% sure that she was into me. Thankfully, she made that abundantly clear, and we did a lot of dating and hanging out and stuff like that. Well, not dating; it was hanging out as friends. But we weren't really kidding ourselves. But I was sort of waiting for her to make the first move so that I didn't get fired. And that's what you got to do. You got to be 100% sure. And I'm sure that that there's equal risks for ladies making moves on guys, but yeah, especially for guys, I think you can end up getting yourself actioned against or something.
Well, that's it. I think I sort of agree with that but I have like a loophole for everybody. You know, the simple get out of jail free card that, you know, they can't 100% blame you if you were drunk. You know, you can push that blame onto something. So step 2 is get drunk. Get drunk and just, that way you've got a cop out. You can be like, oh, sorry, I was so drunk. And you can,
I totally don't mean what I said about, you know, I love the smell of your vanilla hair and the sparkle in your eyes makes me remember this hometown that I'm from, this beautiful place.
Watching you do Excel spreadsheets, just something. It's something else.
Yeah, no, it was just the alcohol talking. Those weren't real comments.
Yeah, exactly. And if they reciprocate, then you know, look out, game on. Yeah, I've had a few incidents with co-workers.
Incidents? Wow, is that what you're calling them?
Well, that's what WorkSafe made me call them.
All right, yeah. Now we're talking here. Now we are hearing from a true professional.
Yeah. So I guess but I had separate like incidents. Like one was years. One was years after we stopped working together. And I think that was like an arc for me. That was a conclusion to that chapter in my life. I think hooking up with that person later on in life, which was quite nice. I quite enjoyed it. Got to message all my my checkout chick pals from back in the day, and I was like, boys, it happened. It just happened 5 years later.
Wow, that's amazing. Good to hear. Holy smokes, that was a comment and a half. Now, the other bit of advice I've got is when you both sort of agree that you're keen on each other, you still don't want to go and announce it to everyone, because it's not like, if word gets out, it's not as simple as, you know, being two strangers. Your work life and your personal life are just about to become very, very connected. So, my opinion is keep it secret for a while. That's my step number 3. Again, this is coming from lived experience, so you know it's good stuff. Basically, we sort of agreed that, hey, this is great. We agree about how we feel about each other, and we're sort of in love or falling in love. Maybe it was a bit too early. You know me, I might throw the love word around a little bit earlier than others. But anyway, we decided to keep it a bit of a secret, and it was actually really, really fun because we both were on the same page. And if we changed our minds on, you know, whether we should go public or not, we would talk about it and go from there. Obviously, it becomes tricky when one person wants it to be public and the other person says, nah, we'll keep it a secret. I think that can be a bit sus, but we were on the same page with that. So it was weeks, I think, of, you know, some people saw right through it. Some people surprisingly had no idea, which was great. And for us, it was it was fun. It was really, really fun. It was a bit like being sneaky, but you're not doing anything wrong, really. So I recommend, give that a try. Do a bit of secrecy.
Yeah, I think the secrecy, that's a vibe. That's a whole bloody kink factor. I reckon there's a whole Google search on that stuff.
I'm talking about love here. You're talking about bloody fetishes and kinks and.
Well, isn't that love? It's just a different word.
I guess.
Well, I think obviously. So, let's just say, obviously, after things escalate with that person, after things are sort of clear that, you know, one or both has intentions to do things or things have happened, I think the step forward has to be, you got to make sure you're the first to say something to them at work. You have to be the first to not necessarily address the issue, or it's not necessarily an issue, but like, you have to be the first to say
it's not
something
an issue yet, which is another one of like your workplace meetings. Yeah,
exactly. If you want to avoid this as an issue, you got to literally go straight in that room, walk past people and don't talk to them. And then as soon as you see the person, just be like, hey, how's it going? Just something simple. Yeah? And just break that.
What was that? Hey, how's it going? That's such good advice. Hey, how's it going?
But don't be weird though. Like don't just already have a coffee and go over there and give them a coffee. That's weird. Then it's obvious. And then yeah, that's not the vibe.
So you're trying to you're trying to break the ice super early so that it's not strange.
Yeah, and if you leave it for if you miss that first meeting with them to say anything, instantly it jumps up 25% weird. And then from then on, every incident after that is only worth 5%. So that's why you got to hit early with the 25 and get that one out of the way. All
right. Well, look, your bloody work relationships have been supremely different to mine by the sound of it, because there was no sort of only seeing each other at work and bloody having to break the ice. It was much more wholesome than that. But yes, that's good advice for people that are doing a bit more of a risky romance by the sound of it. Step number 5, this is a surefire bet and a really good way to make sure that, what you want to do is you want to make your relationship bigger than work. That way, it doesn't matter if you lose work because you've got your relationship. So step number 5 is to get married. And I am in the process of doing that, making plans as we speak for next year. Rogers, I won't tell you the time and place because, as we know, there's tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of you that'll suddenly crash into Longreach and, make things awkward.
Oh, you just said it Longreach? God damn it.
Bleep that out. Bleep that out.
Secret didn't last long.
Yeah.
You can't even finish a sentence.
Mate, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm awful at keeping secrets. Terrible.
Yeah,
but that's why this was so good, because it was actually the most cunning and deceitful and conniving that I've been, and it was all for a good cause, so it felt good. Not often that you can keep a secret for a good reason,
Yeah, no, fair. No, I rate it. I'm all for step 5. Fuck it, just get married. If you think that way, because when you marry someone, they can't what is it? They can't sue you in court or something. What's the rule?
I have no idea.
They can't use the information. Oh, that's right. So they can't use the information that your wife knows in a criminal court against you.
Whoa, that is
something like that.
Dude, romance isn't dead. You are you're so chivalrous. I imagine
to his part, baby.
Well, there you go. The road guide to dating a coworker sounds more like the road guide to stopping bloody legal action against yourself. Actually, that's exactly what it is. It is the road guide to. All right, so that's a very fitting end, actually. Brilliant. So yeah, hopefully that helps you. Again, this is only for the professional romancers out there. If you're a rookie, I'd recommend leaving this to the experts, and maybe
that's
not.
True.
Yeah, but if you're ready, then hopefully this guide served you well. Dos, you've got a little something special for us this episode, a bit of a debut.
Yeah, I've got a new segment for us. I've been thinking, obviously, being the main character of my universe and being the gossip girl in my storyline, I've decided to bring in the docile gossip. The docile gossip.
You had one chance.
First time.
Go again, dude. Go again. Sorry, I think I had a picture frame fall off the wall.
Oof.
Fly off the wall. Kind of spooky.
Well, the new segment that I've brought onto the show is Dossile's Dossip. It's where I go through some of the gossip I've heard. Trademarked, patent pending. Where, some of the gossip I've heard recently within the week or two. And so the one I've got at the moment, it's pretty juicy. So a friend of mine...
No names. Yeah, keep it anonymous.
No names. Yeah. So a friend of mine said they once bailed on a date because their pants were wet. Their jeans were wet. They hadn't dried fully. And that was their excuse.
What? Hang on. Was that their reason for cancelling it? Or did they tell the person they were going on the date, sorry, my jeans are just so wet, I can't make it?
They told the person on the date that they couldn't make it because their pants were wet.
That is terrible. That is
imagine reading that message.
That is because I think the biggest realization for that person was like, wow, like, is this where I am in my dating life, that I was going to go on a date with someone with this level of like sheer incompetence? It's like they couldn't just put on different pants. They couldn't just come to the pants with slightly damp jeans. Like, were they fully drenched for your friend?
From my friend's memory, yeah, they were pretty damp. Yeah, and this was like an hour before the date too. Okay, so obviously not enough time for it to dry.
Did your friend tell you how they felt about the date? Were they invested, or was it just like a first sort of casual throwaway thing, or was this something like they were actually like, you know, keen on, and they just really got the ick from the damp pants and just canned it completely?
I think it was one of those situations where they were like, everything has to align smoothly for this first date to go for it. And they'd been set up with this person as well. Like, it was a friend being like, you should date this person.
Oh no, that's so awkward. Now your friend's involved. I mean, now your friend is involved in your friend's really hopeless, like terrible. That's worse than I'm washing my hair. That's like not the male equivalent. That's like sub. So I can't come. I'm washing my hair.
Yeah, and like also, did this person not have other pants?
That's what I'm saying. That's I couldn't even begin to justify what was happening in this dude's mind. But from the woman's perspective, that like, wow, this person couldn't sort this out themselves, and I was going to go on a date with him. Like, man, I've got some soul searching to do, because I cannot be getting myself into these situations.
But there is sort of like a first date. You know, you got your lucky pants, or you got your lucky undies that you want to wear.
Hang on, does your friend have lucky pants?
I reckon back then they must have, and they really rated these pants.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, do you have? I don't know. You're a bad example, but like, was there anything that you ever brought that you always would try to wear for a first date besides linen, obviously?
No, see, I would never wear linen because I was a rookie. In fact, maybe that's why I found success, because I wasn't immediately just written off as an F boy. But I would say possibly I definitely had a shirt. I had a shirt that I thought looked good, and it was you know, maybe had a good fit around my bulging biceps, as you know, which are so large. These actually. The sleeves on these were very flattering. They actually seemed to somehow make my arms seem bigger, which was great. Good hang off the chest, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. I did love to wear that, but I wouldn't have like gone, no, shirt's wet, date's over. You know, I'm sure I would have just put on a different shirt, but no, clearly not for your friend. Well, mate, the gossip does not cease to amaze. I wish your friend all the best, but it sounds like they may have some struggles with romance in their future.
Yeah, I think they're a lost cause, but like, hey, it's it's good old fashioned bit of dossel for us.
But Doss, actually, real quick, here's one for you before we go on. I'm not actually sure if we've got a big call today, but either way, here's one for you. One I've been thinking about, actually. It's been in the news recently, and you know, you might have seen actually people betting on kids' sport, which is bizarre and just the strangest thing ever. But I want to talk about kids and gambling in a different sense. That was a pretty shocking story to hear. But I'm talking more about what we've been hearing with sports ads and, you know, on sponsors and stuff like that. Like, so many different gambling apps and companies who, you know, I'm sure would be open to sponsoring us. We're still not quite on our high horse with that yet. I could see us having a sports bet ad or a Ned's ad or something.
I will sell out.
Yeah, for sure. Holler at us. In fact, this should have been sponsored by, what I'm about to say, here's one for you, should have been sponsored by a bloody gambling company for sure. So we've got all of these ads that are corrupting, or potentially, they would say, corrupting the minds of children. They see it from a young age, they're exposed to it, they know what's going on, they know how it works, kind of thing. Not only that, but when they play their video games, which I do too, they're exposed to more gambling, like microtransactions and sort of lucky dip, where you spend like $2 of real money and you get a random item sort of thing, which is, you know, a form of gambling because you're trying to get something rare or expensive. So kids from a very, very young age are doing this now. And in my generation, in our time, gambling was just something that we couldn't really do except for very, very low stakes, probably non-finance related gambling.
Yeah. Who's doing the dishes tonight? Scissors, paper, rock. Winner does dishes.
Exactly. But the thing is, I reckon people saying, we need to stop this, and definitely I think there's a case for that. And I'm probably in that boat. But devil's advocate here, have we considered potentially that we are raising a generation of kids who can actually gamble and can actually do a pretty good job and actually know how things work and know the risks and can make good moves? Because for us, we didn't have gambling growing up, so it wasn't a skill that we could really work on or improve or build on. We came into it, when we had money to burn, and burn it we did for the most part because we had, we just weren't trained in it. But kids now from a young age are being trained in it and could become potentially, they could be the generation that beats the house. They could learn the skills and outsmart the machine because they're child prodigies in gambling. So I say let's do a trial run with this generation. Let them continue being exposed to gambling and just see what happens. They could be our heroes.
100%. What's mate, if you go to the Olympics, when do you start training? You don't start training a year out from the Olympics.
Mate,
you start training from when you're freaking 4 or 5.
Mate, if you want to be a swimmer, your mum is swimming laps while you're a fetus. That's what it takes. And
you've got to start it. No one great just picked it up and did it straight away. Everybody worked for it.
And that's us with gambling.
This is their opportunity. These kids could be the housebreakers.
They could be elite. Imagine they could bring the whole thing down potentially, or they could work out some other sweet way to spin it. But I reckon there's definitely a chance here that we could see some little champions coming up.
Yeah. Should we celebrities? You got celebrities. You got sports stars. Should we celebrate people that win big in gambling?
Wasn't that literally Dan Bilzerian? Haven't we done that before? Wasn't he just a straight up gambler that basically? Actually, there's another bloke I think that he must have owned gambling companies in Tasmania that did whatever I've forgotten the name of the Goma or something.
Dick Smith.
Anyway. Dick Smith, no, he's not a legend. But no, you're right.
He beat the house, that man.
maybe. Oh, actually, the professional gamblers are just Twitch streamers, I reckon, that go on and they just basically play the poker games or whatever, and thousands of people.
Oh yeah,
watch
that started popping up and coming up.
That's already happened. Again, that's the new generation. They're monetizing it. They're making money from gambling. It's actually quite sweet. Anyway, just food for thought. Again, my views are. My views are my own, and I definitely don't stand by exposing kids to gambling. But I just think it's worth considering because we don't quite know the outcome yet. Yeah,
and any roguers with young kids, give us an update. See how your kids go on blackjack.
Were you on the pokies while you were pregnant, and now your kid is a legend on the bricklayer's laptop?
Yeah. Let us know.
And you can let us know on Instagram, our hustling bustling Instagram, at the Rogue Guide, ROGUE, not the Road Guide, not the Road Map. It's the Rogue Guide, and chat with us there. And Dos, our social media manager, is always posting up stories and questions and clips. That
when I'm at the pub, I'm usually always posting a story or two. The Rogers.
At the club at a happy hour, posting to the Rogers. I tell you what, that's a real happy hour.
Also, actually, I do have a bone to pick with the Rogers. Freaking like the freaking Spotify. I've only seen, I can have a look, and there's only 11 people that have even freaking rated us. And I know that one person that gave us 1 star was a girl I used to see who found a way to hurt me. So that 1 star is doing a lot of damage right now. So I really need the Rogers to get on there.
Don't worry. And
we've put my wrongs.
We've put some we've put in our objections to Spotify, the company itself, to let them know that, hey, this review was made in bad faith. It's not a real review. Can you please remove it? But yeah, you can do your work and potentially make that less of an issue.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot.
Anyway, that's the Road Guide for today. Unless you've got a mystical big call hidden up your sleeve.
Nah.